Hi guys, and welcome back to Malt Box, the non-chill filtered whiskey blog. I'm Andy and I'm back here today with another whiskey review. Now, today I'm recording this video, legit, is the 4th of July. Now, that's American Independence Day. Well done everyone, over in the States. Hope you have a great day, enjoy your day off, barbecues and various other things. So I thought it quite fitting today to actually record and release a video on the same day. And I'm going to look at a very American style whiskey, and that is rye whiskey. So I'm going to be looking at a rye today. Slight twist, because I'm a little bit of a troll like that. It's not an American rye. No, it's English rye from the Oxford Artisan Distillery, and it's here in the form of the 2017 Heritage Rye, Oxford Rye. Here it is in all its glory. Happy 4th of July. Here's an English rye for you. Lovely, lovely presentation. It's bottled at 50% non-chill filtered natural colour, and it is created by a very small distillery indeed. It does hail, as you can expect, from Oxford in South England, Southern England. This is the 2023 release. This actually came to me via the Somerton Club. Somerton Club members got a sort of early look at this earlier in the year, which was great. Now, again, I've already said, but it's bottled at 50% non-chill filtered natural colour. Now, this was created using grains that were sourced within a 50-mile radius of the distillery, so it's very eco-conscious indeed. It's not like grains are coming from Canada or further afield, which in some cases they do, and they can, and that's just the way of the world. There we are. The whiskey was basically transferred after distillation in their two stills, Nemo and Nautilus, very cool names. They were transferred into a combination of STR casks, virgin oak casks, and I believe various sherry casks, including Manzanilla, as well, and Oloroso from memory. So here it is, there's the colour in the glass, just a nice sort of rich copper. We've got some pretty slow legs going down the glass as well. You can't really see them, can you? But they're not really going anywhere yet, and that's probably why you can't see it. They're very, very thick on the top of that glass. So, only just poured this, but let's see what it's got. Wow. Spicy, buttery. Not smoky, but something almost charry as well. A bit of fruit, maybe. And a bit of menthol. And there's almost like a rummy, sort of golden rummy kind of sweetness about it as well. I mean, the alcohol's there. Of course the alcohol's there. It's a young-ish whiskey. It's a high alcohol percentage. We're looking at 50% ABV. And it is 50 on the nose as well. It's not 51 or 50.4. It's 50. So it's been reduced down to 50%. Overall, this ticks a lot of my boxes for a rye whiskey, and that is strong. I like to know when I'm drinking rye. I use a hell of a lot of rye in cocktails. I'm a sucker for a Manhattan. My wife loves Manhattans. I'm constantly making Manhattans. I always love using rye in Manhattans, which is technically the right thing to do. You can supplant it with what in my opinion is stronger percentage bourbon as well. But rye just does it for me. It does it for me. I just really like rye whiskey. Now, there's some wheat in this makeup as well. So I believe it's 10% wheat, and I want to say 10% barley, but I could be wrong. But ultimately it's not 100% rye, it very rarely is. In the mash bill, so I keep going back and it is just buttery and slightly fruity, slightly astringent, which I quite like as well. So on the palate, good mouthfeel. Oh, wow, that is delicious. Treacle toffee, or bonfire toffee, as it's called in certain places in the UK. Americans, if you are watching this, you probably won't know what treacle toffee is or bonfire toffee. It is toffee made, well, with treacle, which is black, liquid, a bit like molasses, but not quite, not sweet. Slightly bitter, earthy. Now, that butteriness from the nose, carries straight on into the palate. There's a lovely hit of spice, which is what you want in a rye. You like to know you're drinking rye with that nice spicy kick. Touch of vanilla as well. I wouldn't say it's massive. Texture's great. There's a bit of black pepper. Some nuttiness in there. And for me, some raisin as well. Stewed raisiny, sherry-esque notes. And that will come from those sherry casks, don't get me wrong. That will not be an inherent flavour of the base spirit. But it works. It works really well. It's like a whiskey of two halves. You've got this. It's not an American rye. It's not like a Sazerac. It's not like a Canadian rye, like a Lot 43. It is truly its own style, which is great. And I love the fact that, like a lot of English distilleries, that's what they've done and that's what they're aiming to do. It's one of the reasons I love English whiskey. It's still in its youth. I know in various videos I've gone on about how much I like English whiskey, and so many of you are probably rolling your eyes about it at this point, but it's just my jam. So far, this is a very, very nice drop indeed. Let's see what they say about it, shall we? I always like to do that. Fruit, spice and nuts. I did say spices and nuts. Whilst chocolate and spices pair with herbal and savoury notes and a toasted finish. I don't disagree. A lot of the time you've got to take tasting notes on the back of bottles with a pinch of salt. I mean, me and various other whiskey reviewers have kind of been over this to death. At the end of the day, the back of the bottle or the back of the tube is to draw you in. It is the marketing. One of the first things after you see the colour, the striking pattern, the styling, the logo, you go to the back and you look at the tasting notes, and a lot of people that don't drink a lot of whiskey, they will trust that process and they will trust what it says on the back, but everybody's taste is subjective. Let's not do this to death. It is. Everybody's got a different flavour library in their heads of things that they've tasted, things that they've smelt, things that they had in their childhood, things that they've not had in years, that sometimes whiskey can unlock this like sort of core memory. Like a lot of mine take me back to like school, primary school dinners. Things like sponge with like pink custard. What even flavour was that? But it was pink. You just know, like when you get a pink custard note in a whiskey, it's pink custard. And yeah, it's all very subjective. So what I've done there is I've added about 3/4 teaspoon of water to what's left. Now, on the nose for me, those sherry notes are coming out a lot more apparent, shall we say. It's a lot more apparent. Now, that almost roundness, there's like plum, there's a bit of prune, there is some of that chocolate, arguably, there's some milky coffee, but you still have this lovely sort of spicy rye note in the back as well. The butter's still there, kind of got brown, burnt sort of sugar and burnt butter. You can make like brown butter in the pan. You can use that in cookies and things, which is great. If you've not tried it, try it. On the palate, texture's still good, flavour's still great, still buttery, fruit's still there. There's a nice cereal, cinnamony spiciness to it still going on. The chocolate, again, I can't knock them this time, because that is more prevalent on the palate without a doubt. Could that be because they've planted that on my head? Quite possibly. But realistically, I'm not going to disagree, because I can taste it and it is very, very tasty. It's like fruit and nut, dark fruit and nut chocolate. Finish, long, slightly spicy, a little bit of that kind of alcohol burn, that reassuring alcohol burn, the warmth. Still good. Very, very tasty indeed. Really, really good. So that was Oxford Rye from the Oxford Artisan Distillery. Now this retails usually about 90 quid. Somerton Club, again, this is not a plug or an endorsement or anything, but it's 50 quid for each release. So we effectively got this for 50 quid instead of 90, which is great. But Oxford Artisan Distillery do also sell a cheaper rye whiskey or a rye spirit, which is younger, more youthful, and it's bottled, I think, between 40 and 46%. It might even be at 40%. and that sits around the 40 quid mark, I think, from memory, and that is probably a really good introduction to their spirit style. And for me, for what it's worth, really looking forward to seeing what the Oxford Artisan Distillery goes on to do in the next few years. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this whiskey, or if you've tried this whiskey, hit up the comment section, and yeah, see you soon.